done this in a while, and I thought today would be a perfect day for it. It's cold and wintry, it's beautiful. It's that wonderful time between Christmas and Valentine's Day where half of the world is on a diet, but the other half is celebrating chocolate season. Today I've got friends coming for dinner, and so I'm going to do Richard Sachs chocolate cloud cake, which is a flourless cake that doesn't take a whole lot of time, whole lot of effort, but is a mighty good way to celebrate chocolate season. When I'm ready to start cooking something, I look and it says, you need softened butter. There is a quick hack for that that really works out perfectly. It involves a glass, a stick of butter, and a plate. So I'm gonna fill this glass with water. I'm gonna go pop it in the microwave for about 3.5 to 4 minutes to get it really hot. Put it over the butter, and 10 minutes later, I will have beautifully softened butter. So let me run to the sink and take care of that. So I have my extremely hot glass that took about 2 minutes to boil water, and I've got a plate with the stick of butter standing up. So I am just going to pop that over, and in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna have softened butter, so we'll be on our way. In the meantime, I've got 8 ounces of semi-sweet, or not semi-sweet, a bittersweet chocolate that I'm going to chop up at least somewhat and put in a glass bowl over a pot of simmering water. It is really important that the bowl not touch the water. You want to do this gently, because if you're too ambitious with it and it seizes up, you have to start over again. There is no coming back from that. So I'm going to weigh it just to make sure that I've got the right amount here, which I think I do. I am 8.1 ounces, which is pretty good. So I'm gonna go pop this over some simmering water and we'll get going. So this morning I was out and about and I stopped by the farmer's market and bought gorgeous farm-raised eggs. And we need 6 for this recipe. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start off in one bowl with 2 whole eggs, and then we'll put the rest of the egg yolks. In the other, we're gonna put 4 egg whites. So we're gonna start off with the 2 whole eggs. And these are just gorgeous. We're gonna separate the egg white into a small bowl first, so that if there's a little yolk that gets in or anything like that, we don't mess up the egg whites, because when you're whipping whites, if any yolk gets in, party's over. You have to start over. And I hate doing that. If it's gonna happen, it happens with egg number 5. So we're gonna just separate this white in here, and it's looking rather beautiful, and contribute that yolk to the 2 already there. So now we'll pop that in the mixer bowl. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we need 1 more. Okay. So I'm gonna go and check on my chocolate and get moving along. Here's our chocolate. I like to take it off the heat and off the simmering water when it's not all the way melted, when there's still a few little chunks left. They will melt, and so that'll be fine. So we've got this. We're now going to check into our now softened butter, and we're gonna put our softened butter now, put some chunks of that into the chocolate. 2 things are gonna happen. The butter's gonna melt and the chocolate's gonna cool off, both of which are exactly what we want. So we'll get this all incorporated, and then we're gonna add 1/2 cup of sugar to it. And there we go. And that's one thing that's really nice with this recipe. It's not staggeringly sweet. Now, to bake this cake, we're gonna use a springform pan. And it says to do a piece of parchment in the bottom. You can get a regular size piece of parchment, and you can either buy it on a roll, or I buy packages that are pre-measured for half-sheet pans. But we're gonna fold it, and we're gonna continue to fold it until we have a nice pointy triangle. So we're gonna have something that looks like this. And we should have something pretty close to a good circle here. So let's see how we get. And that is absolutely perfect. So our pan is prepped, and now we need the zest of 1 orange. When you zest an orange, you only want the skin. Do not go down to the white. The pith is very bitter, and there's no point in doing that. So I tend to just roll my orange around so that I get what I want, and I leave the rest. And the juice will be great for something else. Now that my chocolate is nicely cooled and I've transferred my egg yolks and those 2 eggs into here, I'm going to give these a quick whisk, and then I'm going to carefully, now that my chocolate is cooled off enough, because we don't want scrambled chocolate eggs, those are disgusting. Now remember, this is just chocolate, butter, and sugar. And we want to get all of that in. We're going to whisk this. We're going to add that orange zest. And then, just because, we're going to add 2 tablespoons, perhaps a little more, Grand Marnier, just for added flavor. So we get our orange zest in here. Little Grand Marnier to boot. There we go. And get that all incorporated. It smells rather amazing at this stage. So now I've got my 4 egg whites in my stand mixer with a wire whisk, and we're gonna beat these until they're nice and foamy, which will be just about 2 minutes. So now we're gonna very, very slowly add the remaining 1/2 cup of sugar. So we're going to turn this on low. If you add too much, it doesn't work. So you need to do it just a bit at a time and let it incorporate before the next one. And we want this to have some nice peaks, but we don't want it to be dry. We want a nice, really soft meringue. Okay, let's have a look and see how we're doing here. Can you see how pretty that is? It's a nice peak at this little floppy, just the way we want it. So we're gonna knock that off. Now, we've got 2 things going on here. We've got our cloud-like meringue, and then we have this lovely, albeit somewhat heavy right now, chocolate and egg mixture. And in order to incorporate the 2, what we're going to do is we're going to take about 1/4 of the meringue and we're going to actually stir it in. What that's going to do is that's going to lighten up this chocolate so that when we go to fold in the remaining egg whites, they'll go in gracefully. It gives them something to go into. So we'll just take about that much. And just lighten up this chocolate so that it'll be a little more receptive to those egg whites. And we're gonna get this in so that we don't see any whites. Now, we're gonna very carefully take a look at this. Is that just gorgeous? Just fold them in, because we don't want to deflate that wonderful air that we just beat in those egg whites. I wish you could smell this. It is amazing with that, between the chocolate and the Grand Marnier and the orange zest. It's gonna be pretty fun. And I don't want to see a lot of white, but a little bit is quite okay with me. And now we're going to gently pour it into our parchment bottom springform pan and get those last little bits off. And now we're going to pop it into a 350 oven. We're going to put it on a half sheet pan just in case there's any leakage going on, because it is springform. And we'll be back in a little bit when it's out of the oven. Okay, so we're out of the oven. Everything is cooled and it's fallen and it's nicely cracked. And the joy of this is it's all gonna be covered up so nobody's gonna know it's cracked. So we're gonna whip this cream to just soft peaks. We certainly aren't gonna turn it to butter. The recipe says 1.5 cups. This is all just, at this point, it's just winging it. So we're gonna get this started. Okay, we're kind of at that nice little foamy stage. So now we're gonna add the powdered sugar and the vanilla and sprinkle that in. And it says about a teaspoon of vanilla. We're just gonna eyeball that. So that should do it. We'll go in and get to those nice soft peaks. Okay, I think we're just about there. So, now, you notice I've not taken this out of the pan. The first time I did it, I did not read the instructions thoroughly, and therefore I kind of made a pig's breakfast out of it. So this is the one time it kind of matters to do things in order. Leave it in the springform pan, then put in the whipped cream, then very, very carefully run a knife around the edge, put it on your serving platter, and then take off the springform. If you do it in another fashion, half of it sticks and it gets really, it's disappointing, let's just put it that way. And kind of mush it around so that it does look like a cloud. Now we're gonna run the knife around and loosen this. And we're gonna say, give it 60 seconds of silent prayer that it doesn't all stick. And some of it will. And the joy with this is that's totally okay. Ah, is that just gorgeous? So we'll give this a little swoosh around. We're gonna hit it with some cocoa. Or if you wanted to do chocolate curls, you certainly could. And we're all set. We now have Richard Sachs chocolate cloud cake, and we're ready for a party. I hope you all make it. I hope you have fun and enjoy it. And when you do, let me know how it came out. And I have a feeling it'll be one of your go-tos because it's pretty wonderful and it really is so easy and such fun. Hope you all have a good evening. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.